Are you tired, truly exhausted of the endless whispers, the constant what-ifs, the relentless churn of rumors that plague the NBA offseason, leaving us all grasping for a shred of truth? Because in a league where speculation often burns brighter than the brightest stars, where every tweet and every offhand comment can ignite a firestorm of debate, finding clarity can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. But what if, just what if, a definitive answer could cut through the noise, silencing the clamor, and setting the record straight on one of the most talked-about futures in professional sports? That's precisely the electrifying moment we've just witnessed, a declaration that promises to reshape the narrative and, for now, bring a sense of calm to a storm-tossed sea of conjecture. For months, the basketball world has been gripped by a familiar, yet uniquely intense drama, the future of LeBron James. Even after the monumental news that he had exercised his $52.6 million player option, committing to the Los Angeles Lakers for the 2025-26 season, a historic move that will make him the first NBA player ever to play a staggering 23rd season, the whispers refused to die. They swirled, they intensified, fueled by the undeniable reality that the Lakers, a franchise perpetually in pursuit of the next era, were clearly pivoting. Their long-term vision, their cornerstone, was undeniably shifting towards the dazzling brilliance of Luka Doncic, a generational talent now locked in through 2028. This strategic realignment, while logical, inevitably cast a shadow of doubt over James's long-term tenure in the City of Angels. The speculation wasn't unfounded. It was, in fact, given potent oxygen by none other than LeBron's longtime agent and the formidable CEO of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul. Prior to the Lakers making their recent roster additions and securing Doncic's extended commitment, Paul had made it abundantly clear. He stated, with the kind of calculated precision that only a super agent can muster, that any future moves for his unparalleled client would hinge entirely on whether the Lakers roster still offered a realistic, tangible chance to win another championship. As ESPN's Shams Charania reported, Paul emphasized that James would always, unequivocally, put himself in the best possible position to compete. These were not idle words. They were a thunderclap that reignited the already simmering speculation about a possible, even probable departure for the King. The rumor mill, as it always does, went into overdrive. Every major market, every contender with even a whisper of cap space or trade assets suddenly found themselves linked to LeBron James. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the team where his legend was forged and where he delivered a historic championship, were an obvious sentimental favorite. The Dallas Mavericks, with the tantalizing prospect of a Luka-LeBron tandem, presented an intriguing on-court fit. The Golden State Warriors, forever seeking to extend their dynastic window, and even the New York Knicks, with their insatiable hunger for a superstar, were thrown into the mix. The narratives wrote themselves, the fan bases dreamed, and the talking heads debated, all fueled by the tantalizing possibility that LeBron James, even at 40 years old, could once again orchestrate a seismic shift in the NBA landscape. Amidst this crescendo of growing speculation, Rich Paul, the man who pulls the strings behind the scenes, appears to have emphatically, definitively, and perhaps even a little exasperatedly put these rumors to bed for good. During a recent appearance on The Title Show Live, Paul was directly confronted with the burning question, was James leaving the Lakers? His response was as clear as a perfectly executed fast break. No, the man has a no-trade clause, end of story. It's up to him if he wants to get traded. He elaborated, leaving no room for misinterpretation. In the event, when a player has a no-trade clause and a team wants to trade the player, that player has the ability to say no. Is the absolute key. It underscores the ultimate, unassailable power that LeBron James wields over his own destiny. And as Paul made crystal clear, his client has made his decision. He has decided against a trade out of Los Angeles. This isn't a subtle hint, a vague possibility, or a carefully worded non-denial. This is a direct, unequivocal statement from a man who represents LeBron James, a declaration that effectively slams the door shut on all the swirling trade talks. Paul's remarks don't stand in isolation either. They perfectly corroborate what ESPN's Dave McMenamin had previously reported, that neither James nor the Lakers had engaged in any discussions about a trade, and that there had been no meaningful conversations about a potential move. The narrative has shifted from breathless speculation to undeniable certainty. So, what does this mean for LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward? As it stands, James is locked in with the Lakers for the upcoming season, and crucially, he retains full, unadulterated control of his future. The Lakers, for their part, are forging ahead with their blueprint for the next era, a vision undeniably centered around Luka Doncic, who recently inked a 3-year, $165 million extension through 2028. But this next era, at least for the immediate future, will unfold with LeBron James still very much in the fold. The franchise has demonstrated its commitment to contending now, making significant moves by signing impact players like Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. This isn't a rebuild. It's a retool, a strategic effort to maximize their championship window with the talent they currently possess. James's tenure in L.A. has already been nothing short of historic. He led the franchise to its record-tying 17th NBA title in the challenging bubble environment of 2020, etching his name into the Lakers' storied history. He surpassed the legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a monumental achievement that speaks to his unprecedented longevity and sustained excellence. He has consistently earned multiple All-NBA selections during his time in purple and gold, proving that even as he approaches uncharted territory in terms of age, his impact remains profound. Now, with Doncic emerging as the undisputed new face of the team, the tantalizing prospect of these two generational talents sharing the floor for at least one more season promises to be a spectacle for basketball fans worldwide. What happens after that, in the summer of 2026 when James hits free agency, will once again be entirely up to him. With his no-trade clause firmly intact, his future will, as always, remain on his terms. Yet, even as one superstar saga appears to be settled, the NBA, in its relentless cycle of drama and intrigue, always has another brewing. The league has seen this song and dance before, this public declaration of loyalty, this seemingly ironclad commitment from a superstar, only for the narrative to unravel later. And that brings us to the curious case of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Just recently, the Greek freak himself made headlines with a viral pledge that sent shivers down the spines of opposing fan bases and brought a collective sigh of relief to Milwaukee. When a fan, screaming with anticipation, asked Giannis about his future in the NBA, he smiled, a knowing glint in his eye, and repeated the words back, "All in Milwaukee." Then, for emphasis, he added a casual, almost playful baby at the end. At face value, it was a powerful, unambiguous statement, a declaration of unwavering allegiance to the franchise he has called home for over a decade. For teams like the Lakers, who are perpetually hoping to join any potential sweepstakes involving the two-time NBA MVP, Giannis's message was, on the surface, not a promising one. The topic of whether Giannis would finally pull the plug on his time in Milwaukee had been stirred up quite a bit, particularly after another disappointing first-round playoff exit for the Bucks. The whispers of discontent, the questions about the team's ability to build a consistent championship contender around him began to amplify. It was Shams Charania, the ever-vigilant NBA insider, who initially told everyone to keep a watchful eye on the situation, suggesting that Giannis's future might not be as settled as it seemed. Unwilling to back down from that claim, Charania recently reaffirmed his stance, stating that nothing was set in stone with regard to Antetokounmpo staying or leaving Milwaukee. And this is where the NBA's unique brand of reality often clashes with public perception. While Giannis's public statement is undeniably powerful and resonates deeply with the Milwaukee faithful, the history of the league is littered with examples of superstars who have vocally committed to a franchise only to eventually pull the plug on that experience. Kyrie Irving stands out as a prime example, a talented point guard who, at various points in his career, openly talked about never leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers and wanting to re-sign with the Boston Celtics. Each time, that was not the case. He eventually moved on. Granted, There is certainly much more reason to believe the words of someone like Giannis, who has spent an incredible 12 seasons with one organization, forging a deep connection with the city and its fans, and delivering a championship. He is, without a doubt, right up there with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as one of the greatest players that franchise has ever employed. The Bucks, understanding this profound legacy, will cling to every shred of hope that Giannis stays with the organization for the totality of his career. Any franchise in their right mind, especially a small market team like Milwaukee, would do the same. Pushing that kind of presence, that kind of talent, out the door simply does not make sense without compelling reason. If Giannis says he wants to stay, Milwaukee is unlikely to encourage him otherwise. However, by that same logic of taking statements at their face value, Antetokounmpo has consistently stated that winning is what matters most to him. He has, on multiple occasions, called himself a winner. And while he brought a title to Milwaukee, his present situation with the Bucks, particularly with recent playoff disappointments, is arguably not helping him consistently live up to that status. If or when the future Hall of Famer decides he wants to change that, to find a situation that more consistently aligns with his championship aspirations, you can be absolutely certain that teams like the Los Angeles Lakers will be waiting, ready to pounce, ready to offer a new path to glory. We've seen one saga seemingly resolved, with LeBron James firmly planting his flag in Los Angeles for at least another season, a testament to player power and strategic planning. But just as one door closes, another remains tantalizingly ajar, with Giannis Antetokounmpo's future, despite his public declarations, still subject to the relentless pursuit of winning that defines every true superstar. The NBA, it seems, is a perpetual motion machine of narrative, where certainty is fleeting and the next dramatic twist is always just around the corner. What do you make of Rich Paul's definitive statement on LeBron, and how does it change your perception of the Lakers' immediate future? And when it comes to Giannis, do you believe his all-in-Milwaukee pledge, or do you think the lure of consistent winning might eventually lead him elsewhere? Let us know your thoughts, your predictions, and your own what-if scenarios in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into the fascinating world of NBA superstar decisions insightful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive reports that cut through the noise and bring you the real stories behind the game.